and welcome to Huawei OptiX Live. I'm your host, Musia. Today is our great honor to have Andrew Katniss, Principal Analyst at Forrester Research. Hello, Andrew. So our first question is that, what are the challenge and development status of the campus networks?
Well, the campus is transforming. The digital transformation that's starting to happen there is fundamentally changing the way we think about campus. Historically, it's been about, really offices and connecting PCs and printers and VoIP phones in this environment itself. But if you take a look at the transformation start to happening, it's expanding beyond that. Campus is becoming, the term is much bigger than an office building. When we think about it being a healthcare center, a hospital, a manufacturing site, where the amount of people in there could be greater than the amount of people in an office building itself. And so when we think about campus, we have to realize that changes also what is connecting to that network itself. And we've gone from PCs and printers to now we've got door locks and we've got HVAC systems and we've got PLCs and we've got robotic arms on there. We've got just a plethora of new IoT devices connecting to this environment to help feed information to the business itself or to feed information about the consumer and provide better products itself. And so when we think about that environment itself, we're at this pivotal point where now we're having a whole new type of devices and security requirements and needs of these devices and the connections and the information they provide that we've never seen since the existence of technology coming to the business itself. And so, like I said, we're at this pivotal point of having this kind of clean room to a much more dynamic environment with a lot of different things connecting to serve the business or to serve the consumer to the business itself.
Thank you, Andrew, for sharing your perspective. So our next question is that, why do you think POL is getting more and more popular? And what do you think POL can bring to the campus networks?
I think the idea that now that it's more than just connecting PCs and printers in this environment, we have to think about the fact is that it's expanding. If you take numbers out there from various sources, whether it be 10 billion, 30 billion, 50 billion, 100 billion devices, these are all brand new things happening and coming to the environment or to this campus thing. And it could be today, it could be within a week, and it needs to be rolled out quickly. And they're not just sitting on a desk. They're part of a door. They're part of a manufacturing plant. They're part of an assembly line itself. They might be in a tank. And so when we start to think about these environments itself fundamentally is that it requires more than the technology that we've historically thought about when it's the network. There's the traditional wired copper connections itself. There's a whole bunch of new requirements in this area that's causing organizations to look to something and a technology and a connection better than what they had before. The idea of every 100 meters of putting a wiring closet or another switch in just doesn't make sense in this environment. When you start to think about distance in these environments, start to think about some of the requirements of electromagnetic fields messing up connections and dropping packets because of what it's causing to the wire connections itself. Even ruggedized, where are they at in this area? And then also having so many of them that they're built for a single management that can easily be updated and changed out. And even as things get added, because as I mentioned earlier, when we think about the fact is new things could be added tomorrow or a week later, that you have to have something, an infrastructure or technology or a network that has the ability to be easily spliced and moved and connected in new areas without having wholesale changes or add new switches in and then making sure the redundancy and switch to switch and a lot of the complications behind that you typically see in a wired closet. And so this is why Forrester sees about 18.8% growth in this area over the next 5 or 6 years because of the idea that there are so much coming and so much happening that a new technology needs to be implemented within this campus environment to support this new digitalization that we're starting to see in all these types of areas itself.
Thank you, Andrew, for sharing your answers. This brings us to the end of today's Huawei OptiX Live, and thank you so much for your watching.